The Rafales take to the skies over Delhi. Indian Air Force puts up an impressive show of strength. Balakot Air Warriors awarded. India unleashes lethal air power for the country's air defense. That's our top focus on India First. India's multi-pronged offensive to checkmate China has the dragon extremely rattled. India's offensive, not just deploying militarily, and Air Chief spoke about the speed with which the Air Warriors were able to ensure that the Indian Army was deployed all along the line of actual control and not just in Ladakh. The use of air power for combat, that's a big signal that goes out to Beijing. India and Japan talking about 5G is again a very big signal that goes out to Beijing. China is also rattled by talk of Taiwan's National Day being celebrated on the 10th, and Beijing is extremely rattled about the Indian media talking about Taiwan's National Day. I'll tell you much more about this. Action-packed, 30 minutes lined up. Let's get started with the headlines. Our top focus story on the broadcast is India's effective use of air power. In 1962, India did not use combat air power, but in 2020, we have our Rafales, our Mirages, our Sukhois, our MiG-29s, other fighters, Apache helicopters, Chinook helicopters, other transport aircraft deployed all along the line of actual control. Now, the Chief of the Air Staff sent out a very strong message to China when Air Chief Marshal RKS Bhadauria said, India is effectively defending our borders. The quick deployment of troops, the quick movement of men and material sends out a very clear signal to the adversary. And this is one reason that Beijing appears extremely rattled. Over the course of the next half hour, we'll tell you multiple reasons why India has China on the back foot.
The Indian Air Force in all its glory. On the 88th Air Force Day celebrations, our modern combat capabilities were on show. The Rafale made its public debut, showing various maneuvers and different formations. Other fighter jets, like the Su-30 MKI, Mirage 2000, Jaguar, the indigenous light combat aircraft Tejas, the new Apache helicopters. The Indian Air Force's strike capabilities were there for all to see. And highlighting the crucial role our air warriors play, the India-China standoff in Ladakh.
The Indian Air Force demonstrating its air capabilities. What we are seeing are the Rafale and the Su-30 now flying at a very low height, carrying out maneuvers, demonstrating how the two can pair up and be a deadly combination for any kind of an assault on the enemy. Both these aircraft have had an important role to play even during the India-China tussle. Soon after its induction, the Rafale has been seen flying in Ladakh, and Su-30 remains the mainstay of the Indian Air Force.
Air Force Chief Air Chief Marshal Rakesh Kumar Singh Bhadauria also sent out a resounding message that the Indian Air Force is fully 100% prepared for any eventuality.
I would like to commend all air warriors for the quick response in the recent standoff on our northern frontiers. When we deployed our combat assets at short notice to handle any eventuality and provided proactive support to all the requirements of deployment and sustenance for the Indian Army.
India's Balakot airstrike heroes were also honored this Air Force Day. Messages of pride and gratitude poured in for our Indian Air Force heroes. Prime Minister Modi also tweeted a video message.
6 पायलट और 19 वायु सैनिकों के साथ एक छोटी सी शुरुआत से बढ़ते हुए हमारी वायुसेना आज 21वीं सदी की सबसे साहसिक और शक्तिशाली एयरफोर्स में शामिल हो चुकी है। यह अपने आप में एक यादगार यात्रा है।
A stellar show of strength marked the 88th Air Force Day as the nation came together to salute and hail every air warrior. With Abhishek Bhalla at the Hindon Air Force Station, Bureau Report, India Today.
Before I tell you more about what's happening along the line of actual control and what's actually unnerved China, we'll come to the diplomatic aspect in just a moment. I quickly want to cut across to India Today's Shiv Arur, who joins us for more on the story. Shiv, China's rattled by our speedy deployment and the fact that we can sustain ourselves. China just didn't expect this.
Well, Gaurav, as you know, these are, this is an annual display by the Indian Air Force on Air Force Day. So there was, nothing unexpected about it. It was an absolutely spectacular and splendid display. But of course, it is coming at a time, when the standoff between India and China in Ladakh has entered its 6 months. So, any display of weaponry of this kind, has its own special significance. So, even though this was not meant to be any kind of a message to China, the very fact that all of India's weaponry platforms, some of the new platforms like the Apaches and the Rafales, which are already operating in Ladakh, were on this very big military display, is going to be something that's taken note of. And let's not forget that every one of the pieces of equipment and aircraft that we saw, well, most of them that were on display at Air Force Day are already operational, conducting combat air patrols, flying missions either near or in Ladakh. So definitely of great significance within the standoff that we're all covering so closely.
Let's talk about Ladakh. The temperature already well below zero. It's freezing. Our troops are deployed, our equipment is deployed, and sustaining them there, the Indian Air Force is playing a very crucial role. Transport aircraft, transport helicopters, fighter jets, maintaining combat air patrol, radars keeping an eye on the other side. You have your missiles deployed, and all of this results in China thinking, why isn't India buckling under pressure? Why isn't India accepting China's terms? Squad leader Minty Agrawal, fighter controller who guided Wing Commander Abhinandan Varthaman to counter the Pakistani airstrike the day after Balakot, was on Thursday awarded the Yudh Seva Medal at the 88th Air Force Day Parade.
Squad leader Minty Agrawal.
Squad leader Agrawal was a part of an elite team of air warriors awarded for airstrikes and successfully repelling and defeating Pakistan's response on the 27th of February 2019. Squad leader Agrawal was on radar duty and was providing the comprehensive air situation picture to the fighter pilots responding to Pakistan's airstrikes. She was the officer who caught the Pakistan Air Force F-16 blip fading off the radar. Others who were awarded on the 88th Air Force Day include Group Captain Hemant Kumar, Group Captain Hansal Sikhera, Group Captain Yashpal Negi, Air Vice Marshal Sunil Vidhate, Group Captain Pranav Raj, Wing Commander Amit Ranjan, Squad Leader Pankaj Dujade, Squad Leader Shashank Singh, Squad Leader BK Reddy, and Squad Leader Rahul Basoya. Squad Leader Agrawal has been a role model for several women air warriors who take the command decision on which enemy target poses the biggest threat and needs to be taken down on priority. The Balakot airstrikes mark a paradigm shift in India's response to Pakistan's state-sponsored terror. Not only did the Mirage 2000s cross the line of control, they crossed the international border, hit Pakistan's terror factory at Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, sending out a big signal about punishing terror at source. Our air warriors are being recognized, and their valor carries a tale that will inspire generations of future air warriors. With cameraman Kripal Singh in Delhi, Gaurav Sawant for India Today. India Today's Abhishek Bhalla now joins me for more on the story. And Abhishek, while a strong message is sent out to China, India is always prepared for something on two fronts. And the fact that our air warriors who did the nation proud at Balakot were honored also sends out another very important signal to the adversary on the other side.
There couldn't have been a better time, Gaurav, for the Balakot heroes to be awarded and recognized for what they did. Amid the India-China tussle, when the Air Force is playing a very important role, be it combat operations or logistics operations for the frontline warriors at the line of actual control, this was the best time for the recognition that they got, even though these awards were announced last year on the 15th of August at Independence Day. But as is the tradition, they were given these awards only today at the Air Force Day. The other aspect is that the two-front war that you mentioned, that's something that the Air Force Chief RKS Bhaduria made it very clear earlier this week when he was interacting with some journalists at a press conference, where he said that the Indian Air Force has not come close to carrying out airstrikes as of now, but if the need be, they are completely ready for it. So a clear signal, a clear indication that all those sorties that you and I have seen.
And let's stay a moment on this very big point. Very, very important point made by the Chief of the Air Staff. We were not close to striking, but should the need arise, we are prepared for it. That's a signal that goes out to the adversary that wants India to come on a bent knee, and China is unable to understand. We are going to have another round of talks on the 12th of October. China wants India to accept Chinese terms, accept a new 1959 line, as China puts it. Why? The only thing that's important at this point of time, Abhishek, is for China to go back. China violated LAC. China needs to restore the April 2020 scenario and get back from Depsang. India is very firm on it.
That's been the Indian stand all throughout over the last 5.5 months, that there is no compromise as far as the situation is concerned. And things have changed drastically over the last 1 month or so. The Indian Army is occupying heights. Gaurav, you and I have reported from Ladakh in the southern. And that certainly has irked China, because these are heights like Richenla, Rezengla, where the Indian Army can control and dominate the Moldo garrison. And that's something that the Chinese are worried about. They do continue to dominate the Finger 4 area on the northern bank. But this counter operation by the Indian Army has definitely changed things. And that's the reason why when it comes to negotiations, India does seem to have an upper hand, because China obviously does not want this such situation to control. It's been accusing India of crossing the line of actual control. But one thing is very clear.
Tactically, India has an advantage. Tactically, India has an advantage at this stage. But what's extremely important is for the government to ensure that that tactical advantage is converted into a strategic victory at this point of time. India wants China to restore April 2020 situation. China wants India to accept the 1959 position, and that 1959 position is clearly not happening. When China says meet us halfway, there is no halfway in this, and that is something that China needs to realize. India is very firm on that. I'll come to China in just a moment, but since our Balakot heroes were honored today, I want to for a moment take you back. You'll know about our air power, the fact that Indian Air Force not only crossed the line of control, but international border, went inside Khyber Pakhtunkhwa and bombed the terrorist training camp at Balakot. Take a look at this report.
A little after 3 a.m., 12 Mirage fighter jets take off from the Indian Air Force base in Gwalior. The Jets are armed with 100-kilogram laser-guided bombs and Israeli targeting pods. Around the same time, a mid-air refueling tanker takes off from Agra, an early warning jet from Bhatinda, and a Heron surveillance drone from an undisclosed secret airfield. On the radar is the biggest terror camp of Jaish-e-Mohammed, located at a hilltop in Balkot. 1,000 kilometers from Gwalior, 50 kilometers from the line of control, deep inside Pakistan's Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. The mission was one objective: take out the terrorists at the camp headed by Maulana Yusuf Azhar, the brother-in-law of Maulana Masood Azhar. Yusuf, incidentally, was one of the terrorists who hijacked the Indian airline flight and took it to Kandahar in 1999. Under the cloak of the darkness, the Mirage jets make their way to Balakot, undetected by Pakistani air defense system, flying low to evade the radars. Once the target is in sight, the two jets draw out the enemy aircraft that has detected the invaders, while the third launches the attacks. An operation that lasted 21 minutes. The first confirmation, interestingly, came after 5 a.m. from Pakistani side. The Pakistani army claimed their aircraft had scrambled, forcing the Indian jets to retreat after dumping the payload, a euphemism for bombs. It took another 6 hours for the confirmation to come from the Indian side, and it was the External Affairs Ministry that did the job, clearing all doubts.
In this operation, a very large number of Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists, trainers, senior commanders, and groups of jihadis who were being trained for Fidaiin action were eliminated.
I now want to shift focus to the other story that has Beijing very rattled, and that is Taiwan's National Day on the 10th of October. China tried to bully journalists in India by saying India should not talk about, media in India should not talk about Taiwan's National Day. Now, there's been a reaction from Taiwan. They've actually asked China to get lost. Take a look at this report.
A massive war of words has broken out between Taiwan and Beijing after the Chinese embassy in New Delhi asked Indian media not to recognize Taiwan by celebrating its National Day. China has asserted that Taiwan is an inalienable part of its territory. The message from Taiwan, which is going to celebrate her National Day on October 10th, was terse. Taiwan's foreign minister told China that India would ask Beijing to get lost.
Taiwan excels in hardware manufacturing, while India's prowess lies in software development. To boost economic growth and attract foreign investment, India has doubled down on its Make in India initiative, helping facilitate Taiwan's expanding investments in India. I'm confident that through our joint efforts, Taiwan and India will become even stronger partners in the Indo-Pacific region.
China claims Taiwan as a breakaway province, while Taipei has insisted on its independence since 1949. New Delhi has no formal diplomatic relations with Taipei, but both sides have close business and cultural ties. Now, it would be interesting to see if India moves closer to Taiwan amid the hostilities along the line of actual control. Bureau Report, India Today.
There's a very stern message that's gone for China, even from India's side, saying media in this country is free. We do what is fair and what's the truth. China wouldn't know a thing about free and independent media. It's high time they did. On the 10th of October, we will tell you about what's been happening in Taiwan through the day. Well, that is all we have time for on India First this evening. But before I go, I want to leave you with some of the best images of the 88th Air Force Day. And we wish our air warriors that they continue to touch the sky with glory, because they sweat so much in peace so that we don't bleed in war.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel, and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.